you've seen the images, your initial reaction was, wow?
I was absolutely thrilled, yeah. We got invited to like a little pre-screening, if you like, at the Lila buildings 3 or 4 days before the actual event at the Titanic Hotel. Myself, Phil Kick, Brad and Adam Jones, and we were sat in the room and they dragged it out and dragged it out. It was no, we were trying to get all the spiel across that they wanted us to represent, which they did, which was fine, but we wanted to see the pictures, just shows the pictures. Eventually we got to them, and there was like a silence, audible silence in the room, because it was just so thrilling, so exciting what we'd seen. They then gave us those headsets that you put on, and you actually feel like you're in the middle of the stadium then, and that was like a surreal experience. As Greg, I'm not the most tech savvy in the world, so I'm like stood in the middle of an empty stadium, looking at these empty seats and thinking, well, yeah, this is cool, this. Adam then puts his on. He's got sound, he's got fans in there, he's got, sort of floodlighting. How did he manage that? So he showed me how to do that. And it was absolutely surreal. I think the best thing you can say is that Dan Meese, why have Everton kept him so secret for so long? What an asset to the football club.
Totally agree.
He speaks so well. And we've been asking for interviews for years, and they were very, very keen to protect him. I think they were concerned he might say something a little bit out of place. Clearly not. Clearly he gets what Evertonians want. And he just speaks so well. I was hanging on every word. Absolute asset. And all the suggestions, all the advice that Evertonians have given him, he's taken on board. So everything Everton fans want. I mean, the most weird thing about that presentation yesterday was Bill Kenwright introducing me as Roy Orbison. So I just thought, well, okay, let's just see how I can work that into a piece. And so I was looking at the various song titles. It's over now, we can't use that. Crying, now it's not a good one. But then you got it. And it is, he gets it. He actually gets what Evertonians want. From the big soaring 13, sort of 1,000-seater end, bit bigger than the Cop, I'm sure that's just coincidence. To, sort of tight to the pitch, to soaring stands. Even the Archibald Leach, as he said, Archie Leach, the little crisscross designs and the brickwork, it's just great. So, sorry, long-winded answer to a very short question, but yeah, I was absolutely thrilled.
And Gavin, it's important that, you touched on before, that the feedback he has got from all Evertonians across the world to give him what they want in this stadium. Now, if they hadn't, it wouldn't look like this, was it? So it's important that Everton keep Everton fans keep on doing it.
If you want supporters to attend, you've got to attend the game, you've got to get their buy-in, haven't you? And what struck me is it's very difficult to get a group of supporters to agree 100% on anything football, whatever club you support, and especially a stadium, and it just shows you what a great job he's done. That virtually 100% of Everton fans are not just made up, but they're ecstatic with the response to it, because I was amazed when I saw it, and how good will it look when it's actually built as well. And I love the way it sits within the dock area and the river as well, not just the stadium itself, it's the environment it's in, and I think he's done a fantastic job.
I think I've just seen two slightly sort of negative notes out of the entire social media spectrum. One person didn't like the typeface on the Everton lettering, but that's all I've got to complain about. Sort of great. Somebody else wasn't sure about using, sort of document brickwork, but that's it. That was 2 tweets in, how many tens of thousands of us are there? So to actually get that level of feedback, he's actually got it nailed.
We were saying before we started that, again, I don't want to sound like the mention the doom there on the end of it, but there is that thing now. There is that thing now, it's like, okay, we'll deliver it. You've whet our expectations, now go on and build it.
No, I get that though, but I actually feel so much confidence and so much reassurance in this new scheme, because I'm old enough to have seen several of these schemes sort of appear and then disappear in the ether, but they never got anywhere near down the line to this one. And the King's Dock, so it was just barely a pipe dream. It lasted like a couple of months. The other 2 schemes didn't even actually took it off the ground. The game changer in this one is Farhad Moshiri, so he's got the financial wherewithal to actually deliver this, he's got the ambition, he's got the vision, and he's being guided, so I know Ken might got a lot of stick for waiting as long as he did before finding the buy that he wanted at the football club, but he wanted somebody that he was absolutely willing to trust with the football club, and he's got the right person in Farhad Moshiri. He's made mistakes, not everybody will agree with his appointments of certain managers in the recent past, but he's learning as he goes along. But this one, he's actually sort of called from the off. He wanted the stadium, he's listened to the supporters, he's got the financial sort of wherewithal to actually deliver it. It's not going to be his money, but the fact that he's got the sort of the funds behind him to underwrite it should it be necessary, that's a game changer. And so the Everton football club's direction has changed significantly since she came in. So I think that's where it changed, and that's why this is so different to the previous schemes that we've had.
Do you see the council getting on board with it?
Not anymore, no. I think they made that offer of the funding vehicle, which I thought was a great idea. So whereby, Liverpool as a city benefits from £7 million a year from the interest that's going to be paid on the money they were going to lend to Everton. And it wasn't very popular amongst a lot of areas. A lot of people believed that so public money shouldn't be used for a private venture. Okay, I sort of understand that, but equally it was delivering funds for the city. And then you've got our neighbours from across the park that were happy because they thought that so again the council is backing one of the clubs in the city. Well, so what? If the city's going to benefit, great. But so Everton are now confident that they've got other private investors in private vehicles who are interested. So it sounds like it's going to go down that route, rather than the public route. But the council are there, they're on hand, and Jonathan was at the launch yesterday. He was a very, very vociferous supporter of the scheme. And so should they be required, they're willing to get on board again.
What's your thoughts on obviously branding and the name of it, Gav? Would you happy with the naming rights?
I'm happy with the naming rights, but it has to be a company that's reputable, that fits in with Everton's ethos, isn't it? You can't have supermarket Bramley Moore, can you, or something like that. It has to be something that the club is comfortable with their image and what they want to try and sort of show to the outside world. So I think we have to be very careful around the naming rights, and we can't just go for maybe the highest bidder, as it were. It has to be something that's right for Everton and right for the stadium.
It's interesting that I think when we talk about the council, then obviously the buy-in of Joe Anderson's important, but just the buy-in of central government. I know they went down to speak to Whitehall, and if you think about it, under Tory governments, under any government, they're not going to be giving £1 billion to the regional economy, creating 15,000 jobs, creating a legacy in one of the most deprived wards of the city that Everton, a private business, are going to do for the city. It's an absolute no-brainer, isn't it?
100%, which is why I'm so confident about this, because I know there's been a few concerns raised about the heritage status of the waterfront there. Look, watch me language here, but so no one brings the toss, to be honest. I mean, it's okay. It's a nice thing to have. But we did a story about this. I mean, which other centres in the world are at risk of losing their World Heritage status? Vienna, the Florida Everglades, and Liverpool waterfront. You're not going to go to Vienna because they're in danger of losing their World Heritage status. You're not going to go to Florida on holiday, of course you're not. So it's a nice little sort of title to have, but it doesn't physically mean anything. So we speak to people at Everton all the time, and they are completely relaxed about this. And if it's called in by the government, it's like you just said, it's an absolute no-brainer. The government will look at the World Heritage status, possibilities, and they'll look at the jobs created, they'll look at the investments, they'll look at, like you said, a deprived area of the town, absolutely regenerated, and there's only one direction it's going to go in. So again, another reason why I'm just so much more confident about this scheme actually happening.
Gav, how do you feel the UNESCO will be looking at this?
Yeah, I can. I think on the pyramid it's exercise as well. If somebody wanted to build a stadium on the pyramid, you could see why they'd want to kick off. But building one here, I can only echo literally what Penno said. And he said before, it's a ludicrous position, and hopefully it won't stand in the way of building the stadium. The other thing I'd say about the difference between previous attempts to move ground is we've literally sunk a lot of money already into this project. It shows the commitment to Mashiri and the board. It's not as if we haven't spent anything. We spent a lot of money getting a lease, and land doesn't come cheap and all that type of stuff. So that shows the commitment far above what we've had previously.
Sorry, Rich, is your favourite part of the ground that you've seen so far? Of yours?
I like where it's located, to be honest with you. Yeah, just generally that location right at the end of the river and the way it's situated is just spot on for me. What a great place. Makes it difficult to build on, and also makes it expensive to build on, but it's well worth it when you see what we saw last night.
You know what, it's growing on me all the time. I loved it when I saw it, but just when you were talking then, just like glanced at the corner of my eyes, saw it there, and I just got that thing, it looks absolutely great. So Dan Meese has called it absolutely right. But again, it's the location. I know, symbolically the banks of the Royal Blue Mersey, it sounds like a bit of a cliche, but it isn't, to have a stadium on a waterfront which is already one of the most iconic in the world. I think, what magazine was it? I told you about this earlier, I've forgotten the magazines now, but one of the world's trendiest magazines did this ranking of the most sort of iconic waterfronts in the world. And it's no surprise that sort of Hong Kong and New York are the first, and Liverpool was third. So it's already one of the most iconic waterfronts in the world, and it's now going to benefit from having that stadium plumbed on that end of it. And it's only going to increase the stature of Liverpool as a city. And so Everton, I hate the word brand, but so Everton as a brand will become better known throughout the world as a result of that stadium. That's got to be a good thing.
I mean, I hesitate to use the cliche things happen for a reason, but you'd think, but for a few twists and turns of fate, we could have been in Kirby, we could have been in Walton Hall Park, Walton Hall Park, we could have been in Stonebridge Cross in Croxford. I'm not being disrespectful to those areas, but they couldn't hold a candle to the iconic banks of the Blue Hills.
No, not at all. I mean, I was very, very disappointed when the King's Dock scheme founded, because I thought that was perfect. Right in the middle of the city, right on the waterfront. And, I was, writing at the Echo then, and it was 20 million quid. I think it was the money they needed to find for it back then, and couldn't. So it founded, and I was listening to Dan actually on the way in. Radio Merseyside did an interview with him as I was driving up here, and he was talking about Everton learning from the lessons that other football clubs have made, or some mistakes that they've made. And he's referenced Tottenham a few times positively, because Tottenham's a lovely stadium, it looks absolutely wonderful. But there are things Everton have learned even from that. So yeah, it has sort of happened for a reason. It's come at this time for a reason. Maybe it's fate. Maybe we'll end up in the place that we deserve. So because of all these things that have happened.
Yeah, I think it's great. I mean, the other thing of that is Dave and I were lucky as being members of the Heritage Society going to see a presentation by the club about 6 weeks ago now, wasn't it? And I can't believe the amount of work that the club has done just to get that far, and the amount of thought that's gone in terms of the construction of the stadium and inside as well, and what's going to be in the fan park, what the stadium's going to look, as you say, the concourse and how they're going to be set up and reflect the heritage of the club. So there's so much work that's being done by the club and Dan that's actually not on those presentation slides from last night and the video. You can't believe what a big job it is to build a stadium there. And fair play to come up with that so far is absolutely fantastic.
I've got confidence in running the club now, and that wasn't always the case in the maybe not so recent past. When you look at the been changes made at the football club today, so Keith Harris is somebody I've written about in the past, not particularly positively, and that didn't really surprise me to see that move made today, because soundings that we're hearing, so Everton are ambitious, they want the absolute very best, and for whatever reasons they decide to part company, maybe he wasn't seen as the very, very best of the football club. So I do think Dean's Barrett Baxendale has been this sort of absolutely refreshing change at the top of the football club. Farhad Bashir, as I mentioned earlier, was a game changer. I feel confidence now in an awful lot of positions in the football club.
Just to add to this, Colin Chong, who's the project director, whatever, really knows his stuff. Hugely impressive individual, knows what he's doing, and I think that's reflecting what's going on so far.
I think one thing that really, again, without being too sort of corny, moved me yesterday was the plans for Goodison Park. I said it a few times this evening, and I can't think of many football clubs that would go to those lengths to basically do what a local council or a government or charities, and of course we are a charity as well, doing. The Dementia Centre, she talked about a centre for assisted living, she talked about a medical centre in general, and of course then the facilities around that. She even talked about trying to revive County Road. There's not many football clubs that would take that much interest in their
absolutely. Again, I stand to Dean's Barrett Baxendale. I mean, maybe it's my age. I'm a little bit older than these two chaps on the end. Not as old as this one, maybe a little bit. But the actual Goodison presentation probably moved me more than the actual sort of stadium presentation, because we've all got so much emotional history bound up in that football club, and you don't want to see it just raised to the ground. I mean, Highbury, I loved Highbury as a place. Upton Park, what are they now? The housing estates, and so to actually see a lasting legacy. When I saw that Goodison lettering, still retained, I was absolutely thrilled. The actual grass in the middle, I mean, that is a shrine. I mean, as we know, so many people's ashes are actually scattered around there. Dixie Dean's ashes are scattered on the halfway line. Barbara, my mother-in-law, actually scattered his ashes, so on that. But never tell me exactly where it was. She told me actually on the halfway line. And so he's there, so he's actually at Goodison Park. So that's why that needs to be something a bit special. You can't just build houses on it. So when I heard about building a medical centre, building, an education centre, I think, well, okay, that's very, very worthy. We want to get more than that, and I'm seeing more than that now. So I was quite moved by that. It's a great idea, and yeah, the football club has done that. So another first for Everton.
Gavin, it was important, as Dave just touched on there, that Everton came out with that statement that he said they're not going to sell this land to supermarkets and wealthy billionaires. This is going to go to the people who want it.
Yeah, I remember when he was doing the Road Blues podcast about 2 or 3 years ago when this was announced. I think me, you and Greg, and the first thing I said when it was announced about the stadium is we need to make sure that we leave something good as a priority part of the project. And Dave said I'd want to say it looks absolutely amazing what they want to do, and I think it's like the right balance, and it's like the club offer lots of different things, but that type of thing that they do far better than with the club in England, I believe, and it reflects well on the people who are there, and we should applaud them for that.
Definitely. Dave, what's that last game at Goodison going to be like? It's going to be emotional, isn't it?
Oh, it's going to be terrible, isn't it? I mean, it's such a part of all our lives. I mean, Easter Monday 1975 was the first time I set foot in there. I mean, you think of like so many memories that you've had there. I've scored there as well,
He has mentioned that once or twice.
Not from your passes. No, it is. It's just, it means so much to all of us. It's going to be such a moving occasion. It's going to be sad to say goodbye, which is why what replaces it needs to be absolutely iconic, memorable, striking, something that we can create memories in again. And this stadium for me, sort of fits that bill. That looks like we can do that. It's a football stadium. It's not, so as Dan says, a shiny new bowl is plonked in an area. It's got a bit of Everton in it already. It's got the Archie Ridge crisscross. It's got things about Everton in it already. And obviously when we start playing there, it's just going to sort of build and build.
Before we wrap up, Gav, what will the last game at Goodison be like for you? Will you shed a tear?
Probably, yeah. Probably don't know until I get there, but I mean, I was talking to the guy last night, is what we saw yesterday just makes you rich about getting moving there as quickly as possible, to be honest with you. Because that's really why it's important for us to keep to the timelines that have already been designated. If it starts moving to the right a little bit, then people will become more frustrated because they want to move there. Would like to see everyone play there. So, if anything, it's raised the expectations to support it even further. And hopefully the last game of Goodison will be 2023. Hopefully, but crown champions.
Yeah, that'll be nice, wouldn't it? I know we're not being nice to go. I know we're essentially to talk about the new stadium tonight, but we'll just touch on before we finish the current affairs on the pitch, and we've echoed the sentiments about a centre forward being really in demand. Are we going to get one? Do you believe that we're going to get someone in the door?
Not a centre forward, because Marcel Brands and Marcus Silva have made it clear that they want a forward, a striker, if you like, who can play across the front three, who can interchange, and so this very fluid, very modern system. So I prefer, if you like, an old-fashioned goal scorer. So somebody that will play centrally, you can guarantee will score 15, 20 goals. They don't want that. They want somebody that can sort of move across the front three. But I still think it's got to be somebody that will score goals. Without that player, that places an awful lot of responsibility on Dominic Calvert-Lewin's shoulders again next season. And promising though he is, finishing is the one area of his game that so he needs to improve upon significantly. So we need it. I mean, but they are looking around. Marcel Brands is very, very impressive. So he's got contacts, so worldwide. Still time. Still, sort of 2.5 weeks to go. Still, so I don't know, but I know for a fact they won't bring a player in for the sake of it. So it won't be, sort of a knee-jerk reaction. But we've been saying this, since Romelu Lukaku was sold. Olivier Giroud was lined up and didn't arrive. So, so a goal scorer is needed as a matter of urgency. Whether we get one, I don't know.
Gavin, you worried that there's no striking in at the moment with what? Best part of just under 2 weeks to go?
Not at this moment in time. I'm thinking, I think we need 2 or 3 players, but before we do that, we probably need to get rid of about 4 or 5 just to balance the books, to be honest with you. So talk about bringing players in is dependent on getting rid of players. So I think there'll be a lot of movements out before we get players in at the same time. So it's going to be an interesting last 2 weeks now. Yeah, and obviously Garner Gay goes, I think Marco says that he wants another midfielder. he's effectively told the board he wants him as the midfielder. So that's going to be a priority as well. So there's 2 or 3 areas I think.
You'll obviously be linked with Neres and Zaha. Do you think them players tickle fancy thing?
Zaha, sort of, yeah, but I don't know, he's had his opportunity at a big club already, never quite worked. You know, I like him as a player, but is he a goal scorer, which is what we need, you know, a regular goal scorer, I'm not so sure. And I don't think, as you said before, I agree with you, I don't think that was a likelihood. I think Everton are being used as a bargaining chip to try and push us move to Arsenal. Neres, I don't know, going to the bottom to be honest, but you know, it sounds exciting. Just have that faith and trust in the guys that are targeting these players. I mean, the transfer policy since Marcus Silva and Marcel Brands have been in the football club has been nigh on impeccable. You know, so every player has really sort of hit the mark. You know, they're going to get one wrong, you know, sometime down the line, but you know, they've been pretty good so far. So just trust them to get it right.
Gavin, it would help if Jeremiah hit the mark belatedly this season, wouldn't it?
Yeah, oh, absolutely. I mean, we're short of centre-half, aren't we, really, but we've probably got, 2 centre-halves, I would think, if Mason...
Senior centre-halves.
Senior centre-halves. If Mason, not sure what his immediate future is. The Kurtzuma thing, maybe running its course. That's another priority. We can't go into the start of the season with just 2 senior centre-halves. I mean, even 3's a bit of a risk. Which, as you well know, a couple of years ago we did that with Martinez and it cost us near the end of the season. We ended up having midfielders playing at the back, you know. So you probably need 1, maybe even 2 centre-halves between now and August.
Dave, does it worry you, I know Marco Silva has said on record that Fabian Delph will not be a replacement for the Gisagana guy. Do you actually think you really mean that?
He'd like to move, and yeah, he wants, you know, Ghana Gay to stay, but you know, they've got to be fair to the lad. I mean, his attitude second half of last season was absolutely impeccable. You know, so for a footballer to get his dream move denied and then produce that series of performances that he did, absolutely fair play to him. I'm being totally honest here, I'm not a fan of Morgan Schneiderlin, and I don't see, you know, so a long-term future for him at the football club, my personal view. Ghana Gay, I do love, but you know, age-wise, 29, 30, you know, another player can be targeted in the Gomez mould, not the same style of player, but somebody of his quality. You know, so I'd be quite happy, I'd be quite relaxed. Again, it's not just reiterate what I've already said. You know, so I have faith in, you know, in the scouting, you know, procedure, and the ability to target players that are going to improve us as a football club.
So, Gav, if there was a specific position you target right now, would it be centre forward or cover for right back or centre back?
We stopped talking about right back. It's funny how priorities shift and change. No one's mentioned all of a sudden last season, sorry Gav, but it just reminded me that we were talking about you've got to get a right-footed Luca Dean, and now we've switched our priority understandably to a forward, shall we say, as Kyle explained earlier. But do we need the right back guy as well, sir?
I think the priority is getting players out. It's the ball.
Which type of player? Niasse and McCarthy?
You can name about 4 or 5 at the top of your head who players who are probably still contracted us for about another year or 2 years on the contract. I mean, Bassett is still with us, he's got 2 years left on his contract.
Don't mention that.
Don't even
Bassett has played 50 games for us in 5 years, still got 2 years left on his contract, you know. Bassett's got Alice McCarthy, Balassi, you know, you can name 5 or 6 of them. You probably need to be moved on to generate any sort of transfer fee and 3 from the wage bill. So that's my priority, because we're not going to get people in otherwise. But if you're saying the one thing we do need to, I think we do need a centre half, as you said, because we've only got 2.
If you do sign one of them big, you just touched on Dave, that winger stroke striker and a centre back, do you see them having the potential to break into the top 6 last season, next season? Because they have beaten all these big teams, especially towards the back end of last season.
Yeah, the club's got momentum at the moment, and that's so important. If you think, you know, so those of us old enough to remember, like you saw Howard's first 3 years in the 80s, they weren't great, you know, so in total, but you always finished the season well and developed a bit of momentum that you could take into the following season. You know, so 83-84, you know, so the momentum was significant, ending in the FA Cup final. Now, it's not the same now, but finished last season with real momentum and, you know, so real confidence. Now, that's got to be carried on into the new season. And if we can start the season, you know, so better than we did last time. We started the first 3 or 4 games of World Cup and we had that horrible dip. You know, so yeah, there's absolutely no reason why top 6 can't be achieved. It's so competitive, the Premier League now. You know, so many clubs. Manchester United are going to be a different proposition next season. Well, or rather, you don't know. Solskjaer, I think, dodgy. We will see. There's going to be so much competition out there. So it's still very, very competitive, but the club is going in the right direction. So yeah, I'm confident.
I think the team you've got to watch next year is Leicester. I think they'll be a big threat into about teams getting into the top 6. I think they'll be there or thereabouts. So it's not just us getting into the top 6, there's any other clubs in the Premier League getting into the top 6 as well. But we got, was it 54 points, was it something like that last season? I think we can easily get to the 65 to 70 point mark next year. If we get the right signings in, get the players and perform consistently over the season, then 65 to 70, and if we do that, then we're going to be in the mix in the top 6 surely.
Well, momentum and those positive talk of the top 6 is a nice note to end on. Thanks ever so much for coming, everybody. We're going to finish up on that. Thank you very much.